Imagine bringing new life into the world, full of promise and vitality, only for it to shatter and crumble right before your eyes in heartbreaking ways. What if the very bloodline you rely on, the genetic foundation passed down through generations, turns out to be a silent, hidden killer lurking in the shadows? Today, we're ripping the veil off one of nature's most dangerous secrets. The shocking, often overlooked truth behind inbreeding, and exactly why allowing siblings to mate can spell absolute doom, not just for one offspring, but for entire bloodlines and populations across the animal world. Welcome to this riveting, eye-opening deep dive into the perilous world of inbreeding in the animal kingdom, a topic that affects everything from backyard farms to endangered wildlife. Whether you're a dedicated farmer managing livestock, a passionate animal lover advocating for ethical practices, or simply someone fascinated by the intricate rules of nature and genetics, this exploration could completely transform your perspective on breeding forever. Buckle up as we skip the fluff and plunge straight into the hard-hitting science, backed by real studies and global examples that will leave you rethinking how life truly thrives. It all begins so innocently, almost poetically, in the serene pastures where life cycles unfold. Picture a healthy doe. That's a female goat, strong and nurturing, giving birth to a pair of adorable twins. A robust black buck, male kid, full of energy, and a graceful white doe kid, both bouncing with the vigor of youth. These twins are full siblings, bonded by blood, sharing the exact same parents and an identical genetic blueprint inherited from mom and dad. In the untamed wild or on traditional farms around the globe, it might seem tempting or even practical to pair these siblings for breeding. After all, they're familiar, accessible, and appear perfectly matched. But hold on tight, because this is precisely where nature hurls a massive, unforgiving curveball that can derail everything in an instant. When full siblings like these decide to mate, or are forced to by circumstance or human intervention, their innocent offspring end up inheriting nearly identical sets of genes from both the mother and father sides, creating a genetic echo chamber of sorts. This intense similarity doesn't just blend traits, it dangerously amplifies any hidden recessive characteristics, especially the harmful ones that might have been dormant or harmless in previous generations. We're delving into serious territory here. Genetic defects, mutations, and vulnerabilities that have been quietly lurking in the family tree for years, now suddenly doubled in potency and unleashed like a genetic storm, wreaking havoc on the next generation's health and survival chances. The results of this genetic gamble? Absolutely devastating and often irreversible, painting a grim picture that's hard to ignore once you see the evidence. Extensive scientific studies on livestock species such as goats, sheep, cattle, and even domestic dogs have repeatedly demonstrated that inbreeding dramatically spikes the risks of tragic outcomes like stillbirths, severe physical deformities, and critically weakened immune systems that leave young animals defenseless against everyday threats. Offspring from these unions might arrive into the world already lifeless, their tiny bodies still and cold, or they could barely cling to life as frail runts. Undersized, perpetually sickly, highly susceptible to infections, parasites, and environmental stresses, with little hope of growing into strong, productive adults. To put hard numbers on this horror, groundbreaking research from the University of California, Davis has uncovered that animals subjected to inbreeding can face mortality rates skyrocketing up to 50% higher in their crucial first year of life alone, turning what should be a time of growth into a brutal battle for survival. But let's zoom out. This nightmare isn't confined to just goats or isolated barnyards. It's a widespread plague haunting farms and ecosystems across the entire planet. From the vast dairy operations in America's heartland where inbred cows struggle with fertility issues to the rugged sheep herds in Africa's arid landscapes, battling reduced wool quality and disease resistance. Even in the untamed realms of wildlife, where human hands play less of a role, inbreeding rears its ugly head with what's known as inbreeding depression, a cascading effect that slashes fertility rates, produces smaller and weaker litters, and pushes entire populations teetering on the edge of extinction. Take the iconic Florida panther as a chilling real-world case study. Back in the 1990s, severe inbreeding from habitat isolation had deformed their hearts, twisted their tails, and decimated their numbers to near oblivion, until conservationists boldly introduced fresh genetic diversity from Texas cougars, sparking a remarkable comeback that saved the species from the brink. So, why on earth does this biological betrayal happen time and again? Let's break it down with Genetics 101, simplified yet profound. Every living creature, from the tiniest mouse to the mightiest elephant, carries a mix of genes, including sneaky recessive ones that code for potentially problematic traits like hereditary diseases or vulnerabilities. In a diverse mating pair, where partners come from unrelated lines, the strong, healthy dominant genes swoop in like heroes, masking and overriding those risky recessives to keep things balanced and thriving. But throw siblings into the mix, those once hidden recessives suddenly find their perfect match, teaming up with alarming efficiency to manifest full-blown issues that can cripple or kill. It's akin to playing a high-stakes game of genetic Russian roulette, where the chamber is loaded with more bullets than blanks. And inevitably, the house, nature, always claims victory, enforcing its unbreakable rule that variety is the spice and indeed the savior of life. For those craving even more concrete proof, consider these eye-popping facts from the lab. In controlled experiments with inbred mice, scientists have observed mutation rates surging by 20 to 30%, leading to everything from behavioral abnormalities to shortened lifespans. And while we're keeping our focus squarely on animals, it's impossible not to draw subtle, thought-provoking parallels to human history. Think of Europe's royal families, where centuries of close-kin marriages infamously propagated hemophilia, the bleeder's disease. Through bloodlines like the Romanovs and Habsburgs, serving as a stark cautionary tale of what happens when diversity is ignored. These connections aren't just trivia. They underscore the universal principles at play, urging us to apply lessons from the animal world to broader ethical considerations. Yet, amid all this doom and gloom, there's a beacon of genuine hope shining through, empowering breeders and conservationists alike to turn the tide. The key lies in smart, proactive best practices that anyone can adopt. Regularly introduce fresh, unrelated bloodlines into your herds or packs to inject that vital genetic variety. Leverage cutting-edge tools like user-friendly pedigree tracking apps or affordable DNA testing kits to meticulously map out relationships and sidestep close relatives before it's too late. Global authorities such as the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, strongly advocate for outcrossing strategies, deliberate pairings with distant lineages, which have been proven to supercharge herd health, skyrocket productivity in terms of milk, meat, or wool yields, and drastically reduce those soul-crushing heartbreaks of losing young animals. Envision a future where your farm flourishes with robust, resilient creatures, or where endangered species rebound with renewed vigor, all because you chose diversity over convenience. So, the next time you're pondering breeding decisions, whether for your own animals or simply reflecting on nature's grand design, etch this into your mind. Diversity isn't merely a nice-to-have ideal. It's an absolute life-saving necessity that fuels evolution and sustains ecosystems worldwide. If this video has blown your mind wide open or sparked a new passion for genetic wisdom, hit that share button to spread the knowledge far and wide. And don't forget to subscribe for even more no-nonsense, adrenaline-pumping insights into the wild, wondrous world of animals and science. Now it's your turn. What's your personal take on ethical breeding practices? Drop a comment below and let's ignite a lively discussion.